Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Project Lemons to Lemonade. Our next guest won the Energy New Venture competition. She won Innovation and Process Control at the Global Petroleum Show and went through the Techstars Accelerator program in Norway. How fun! She raised venture capital funding for her oil and gas control room automation software, and she does a lot of rock climbing, mountaineering, backcountry skiing, when it's not the COVID era. Please welcome Vicki Knott. She's the CEO and co-founder of Crux OCM. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. We actually tried this once before and I forgot to press record.
It's okay. We're going to do it again. It's going to be just as good or better.
It's going to be awesome. So tell me a little bit, Techstars is a really big deal. Tell me a little bit about your experience in the program.
Yeah, so for those who don't know about Techstars, it's one of the world's most profitable accelerator programs. So super tough to get into. A lot of companies apply multiple times. They do have like 52 programs, I think, across the world. And we were fortunate enough to get accepted into the program that's in Oslo, Norway. So we lived in Oslo for 3 months in the fall of 2018.
Very cool. I'm sure you learned so much, and it helped you raise money for your company. You learned how to do all that cool stuff.
Yeah, definitely something different to learn.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about your software.
Yeah, so we've built software. My background is in pipelines and large industrial facilities, so I've spent a lot of time in control rooms there. My co-founder and I really wanted to work to help out control room operators and how they work day to day. So currently, when they're operating these assets in large control centers or centralized control centers, they're using procedures, checklists, and rules of thumb. So we're working to fully automate those procedures and checklists for them to enable them to focus on higher value activities rather than button pushing, as well as making sure they're super focused on safety.
And sorry, I have to add this in because you were talked about Homer Simpson button pushing, and I just love that visualization.
The easiest way for people to get it. They're like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, and then it's like he's got the bird that's like automate the bird.
Love that bird.
It's obviously not that easy in real life, but yes, that's exactly what we're working to do.
What you eliminate, yeah. And so you ended up raising a fair amount of money in October. And
yes.
And how did you address what's happening today? So our oil prices have tanked, and I was just saying that I'm super happy because I can fill my car for really cheap, even though I'm not going anywhere. We're as a consumer, we're really happy, but you're in the industry. So how are you dealing with that? What did you say to your investors?
Yeah, so that was tough. Like as soon as the markets crashed, we knew we were going to have a problem. And so, we immediately went into scenario planning mode and, based on market indicators of, when COVID ends, when we're out of lockdown essentially, and indicators such as when oil prices start recovering or, OPEC and Russia start playing nice together again, then, we can start making actions based on those triggers. So I put together that notice for the investors right away, and they were super receptive to that. And then we very quickly had a board meeting that was already scheduled anyway, and they challenged us to find 3 more months runway, which, given the fact that nobody's traveling anyway and all conferences are canceled, once we removed that from our budget, as well as looked at what shred would look like for us in Canada, we were then able to find the additional runway. So our investors are quite happy with where we are right now. We also had customers drop off that were in late stage in the funnel. That was really, really tough for us. When their stock drops 80% overnight and their capital budgets are completely cut. First thing to go a lot of the times is innovation. So that's a challenge. However, we do have midstream customers that are moving ahead with us because they're a bit more insulated from the market volatility. And to them, they see more automation as a business continuity and a safety play, so an efficiency play, something that they want to keep working towards.
Awesome. And this whole time you're a virtual team. You figured out the virtual model, so it wasn't a big transition for you to keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you do it a little bit differently. I hadn't heard of you used the term OKR when we were chatting. And can you tell us a little bit more about how you run your team meetings and
Yeah, it's more of a management philosophy. So similar to KPIs, like lots of folks have heard of KPIs. OKRs is a similar concept, just quite a bit different. So the way that it works is that, we used a book called Measure What Matters, and this is a model that Google and IBM uses. So we set our company goals. So as a company, based on the board and the team, like what is it that we need to accomplish this year? Then we set our goals for Q2. So we set our goals for the quarter. From those goals, the team then goes away and they write their own objectives of how they're going to achieve those goals. And then below those objectives, they have actionable key results. So they'll have 3 to 5 actionable key results. And it's a very bottom-up process where they set it themselves. Why this is really handy when you're running a remote team is because we meet weekly to review the OKRs, and every key result is scored from 0 to 1 on a weekly basis, so you can actually track progress. So one week you'll have 0.1 and then on something, and then the next week it'll be 0.2. All of this is a bit different than KPIs as well, because the whole point of it is to be doing it daily, or doing it all the time, not just once a year in your performance review. It's loosely correlated to performance. Like it's not, oh, you didn't meet your key or your key, whatever it is, your key results. So okay, KPIs, key results, whatever. You didn't meet your key results, so therefore, X, you didn't succeed at this. That's not the point. The point is to be like, okay, if you're not meeting that key result, should it even be a key result, right? So it's working together.
Yeah, exactly. And we talked about how if you're not able to measure, you actually don't know where you're going. And this is like a great time for people to start measuring and putting in KPIs or OKRs or whatever you want to call them, and whatever philosophy, but just find a philosophy that you can follow that makes sense for your business. And so that okay, this is these are our metrics for COVID era, and these are going to be our metrics going forward, because otherwise you don't know how far behind you are, or if you have to change what you're doing. You mentioned sometimes you'll start a new quarter and you'd be like, oh, we don't even need, what we thought we needed to do is now different, and we're in that era of innovation where we have to keep pivoting to stay
Yeah, exactly.
relevant. And one of the things that's really funny that I wanted to share was that one of my friends talks about innovation as people go to a quarterly meeting or the annual meeting to talk about innovation instead of doing it as they go, and he equates it to brushing your teeth. You don't brush your teeth once a year, you got to brush it every day, and that's essentially what you guys are doing too, where you're looking at your metrics day by day.
Yeah, look at it every day.
Yeah. And so, congratulations, Vicki. It's so nice to hear that you're doing well. You're an Alberta-based business, women in tech. It's just really fun to catch up and see how much you've done, since we've met, and all the hustle that you've had to do to get to where you are, and you are going to thrive essentially. You're through this, however long it is.
Yeah, it's a hustle is right. And it's like, okay, the hustle just got even more hustly, but that's okay.
Oh, I like that.
And thanks for doing this. These are great. So this is super fun.
Thanks for joining us.
Great. Bye.
Bye.